Welcome. Time for a reading. Dear Lord and Spirit, I'm getting sunset romance. I love you. I see the sunset. I feel two people wanting that sunset experience together, is what I get. Um, I'm also getting somebody in your community or circle thinks you're out of this world. And I think it's, out of the, not just out of this world and that you're beautiful, but out of this world in the sense of the way you go about your daily day in your life. Um, and so there's an observer, and then there's the person or energy that's being observed, is kind of what I'm getting. Um, I get that this observant energy feels like you articulate yourself in a very unique way. You're not at all interested in surface level interactions. You're really understanding and considerate from people of all walks of lives. You have an understanding that the average person doesn't, or they would come to a quick judgment or a write off. You don't fit into any box. And I do see a box, and I do see someone needing you to be in the box for some reason. And I don't know if it's the observer. I get water energy, so maybe Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer is the person being observed. And the person that's doing the observing, I get a lot of earth energy, so like Capricorn, Virgo, and Taurus. And they're looking at you and saying your reaction to things are just out of the ordinary. They don't follow a pattern, and you switch up your pattern of reaction. And not unhinged in any way, but it's very difficult to control this person or to guess at everything that they're going to do. And just when you think you have them figured out, something changes about them or the way they respond or react. The reaction is never with harshness or coldness. There's no meanness in this person. And I think this perplexes the observant energy because they know there's times where you should react harshly or cold or upset, and you don't. And they find that very emotionally intelligent. The observer is that earth energy. So I feel like the observer is quite artistic, brave, confident and passionate, and very independent. I pulled two cards, and I got the 7 of Cups. Here you can see the 7 of Cups. So I feel like the person that's being observed, that energy has a very fruitful imagination, and they can come up with all sorts of arrays of scenarios in their mind. Excuse me, water. And I feel like they have a lot of dreams, but not strong at executing them, is what I get for this person. Um, Recommendations is, although this person's a dreamer, they've got to bring themselves back to reality. And yes, they don't like surface level interactions, but the reality is that most business, most jobs, most people function on a surface level to keep everyone comfortable all the time. So this person that's being observed is very comfortable with emotional depth, but that's not the case for most people. So they need to kind of get out of their dream reality and learn how to function to some extent on a surface level. And I think that they can, but they need to practice that consistently and more often. The second card that I pulled was the 6 of Wands. I feel like the person that's observing this energy is has a fall from grace coming, and they feel like they've had lack of recognition. And I feel like they've accomplished a lot, but feel like they've failed to some extent. Um, and that they're actually have less confidence than they let on, and a little reward. And I feel like they're kind of moving towards a setup in their life where they think that reward's going to come, but I think it's actually going to reward the others in their life, not them. And it's a bit of a trap. I think they've convinced themselves perhaps of it because it makes their ego feel good in several ways and it pleases the people around them. So these two energies, where did I put that other card? Yeah, these two energies both have this other side that they need to consider and work on. But when we come back to this out of the world, this out of this world person that doesn't feel like they came from here. That's how they feel about them and see them, and in a beautiful sense. If you resonate with this at all and you need a reading and more information, click the link in the bio.